something that was worse down in the south. But many of them, as I say here, didn't say they came back to the United States after well, so many years. And of course, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to the Constitution. The 13th, which was enacted in 1865, the other one in 68, and the 15th Amendment in 1870. Of course, gave freedom to the slaves. That's about all it said. Is just slavery, and you give you the right to vote and all like that. All the constitutions, or all of the that the Declaration of Independence said was that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, but among them is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's why George Mason would not sign the Constitution, because he said that they just didn't put enough emphasis in freeing the slave. Yes. Anyone else?
Well, the only comment I wanted to make was that there wasn't really any law. I mean, there wasn't anybody that said they couldn't stop in northern United States if they wanted to, except the government said that they could be taken back into slavery if they were captured. So that's why they went to Canada, and the Canadian government said that they couldn't. I mean, it was a different country, so they were not. There was no extradition treaty for slaves between the U.S. and Canada at that time.
No, there wasn't.
So,
of course,
I mean, if they wanted to quit the railroad and get off, say, in Boonville and take their chances, there was nothing to stop them except that they could be, captured.
Yeah, they could stop anywhere they wanted.
Another point too, they was trained to take orders good, and also bred to be the strongest as possible. That's why even today, even our athletes, the majority of them are Negroes, and they're getting to be some of the top ones. They're so stronger big son.
I'm looking for the Dred Scott decision. Can't think of the date. Well, this Dred Scott decision, a person from the South brought a Negro north, and they said it was all right. The Negro had no rights whatsoever anyway. So the Dred Scott decision said that the Negro would have to be well, like a dog would be to this slave owner. He didn't have to account for him whatsoever. He just was, well, the slave was his possession. And the Dred Scott decision said that the slave was just his person, and that was it. He didn't have to account for him by telling him that he could free him or anything like that. He just took him as it was. The laws are kind of strange in certain ways. And right today, well, I won't say it.
I read a book one time, it's supposed to be true, the plantation owners there, they come fall, they'd pick a young buck, they call them, sleep at the foot of the bed, crossways the bed, put their feet on it, supposed to draw the rheumatism out of the white person's body, see. And the young Negroes, they happened to be two brothers, well, they'd fight all summer, who's going to be killed to be asleep at the foot of the bed.
Did the railroad have a busy season?
Why, probably in the summertime coming north, it was more or less more active than it was in the wintertime. But still in all, I think that an awful lot of them didn't know what the weather was until they got up here either. So they would be willing to come if if they were mistreated or something like that anytime. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, there must be other questions.
Did they ever bring any children on such a trip?
Huh?
Did they ever bring any children on such a trip? Did they go
Oh,
back for that?
oh yes, many children would come with them. And Harriet Tubman used to, before they would enter a town or something like that, she was paregoric. She'd dope some of the kids, and then they would keep them quiet. Well, she brought quite a few of them like that, very small children. But she, as I say, gave them paregoric or some kind of a little stimulant that would keep them quiet. Oh yes, they brought many children.
I was gonna say, probably the closest you could come to the slave movement to the north would be the refugee movement after the Second World War.
Yes.
Because, you know.
Yes, I think so.
You know, you
Well,
move your whole
you know,
family if you can, and take whatever possessions you can.
when Sherman left Chattanooga, going south to wipe out Atlanta, which he done in November the 14th, he had 62,000 troops with him. And he went down and he swept out Atlanta and separated the South. And he started back up north through Carolinas. And they said that there was a line of colored people 10 miles long that followed him north for their freedom. And I can picture that because I was in Germany during World War II, and when the Germans surrendered, they held their hands over their head, and they were 4 and 6 deep, and I don't know how long they were. So I can picture how that would look with Sherman and his 62,000 men coming north with 10 miles of 5,000 or 6,000 colored with him. And that's what they said, that the history books will bear it out. So it's something that these people wanted to get out of the South to freedom. Anyone else have any questions? Well, you may look at what I have here and ask any other questions when you're up here, if you wish. And I can give you some other names here of, and also places in New York State. I checked out at Thanksgiving time. We were out at my wife's mother's in Milwaukee, and I went down to the Historical Society there, and I asked if they had anything on the underground, and they threw a scrapbook at me and says, check it over and we'll copy whatever you want. And I copied about 25 pages out there on a their copier. So they came up from Missouri to Illinois to places in Milwaukee, Waukesha, and around there, to Green Bay, and on into Canada. Very few slaves were up in Maine and Vermont, but Connecticut and Massachusetts, Faneuil Hall, they had many speakers up there. Yes?
Do you know if any slaves escaped, instead of going north, they went to the west?
Well, they could have very well. You see, that was all free territory out there, free states. So they could have probably through Oklahoma or something like that. But of course, all that was free territory out there. After the Compromise of 1850, and after the Civil War, of course, everything was. So there could have been slaves out there at any time.
did the Underground Railroad run to the west?
No, because that was all free states. Yeah, it was all free states. It's just, those that you see, the southern states that, were seceded from the Union during the Civil War are really the only ones that, there was any slaves in that, went for freedom. And of course, after that, after the Civil War and like that, any slaves that were around, if they wanted to be free or anything like that, they just took off and made themselves. So, I'll try and answer any questions. And I have quite a few pictures here and a nice collection of stamps on the Underground.
Thank you, Alfred.
In the other room, there's some hot water there for you to make coffee or tea or hot chocolate, whatever you like. So before you leave, if you'd like to stop for a little refreshment, I have a 30-cup pot, so first come, first serve. The rest I'll have to take you out to McDonald's. I want you to know that in April, I believe it's the 14th of April, we are going to have another program, and Dorothy O'Brien, who's here tonight, is going to be talking on the early cemeteries here in Lewis County. And she's done a lot of research on it too, and that could be, again, would be a very interesting night. Thank you all for coming. It's a real